Hey guys, so I know what you're thinking. Oh Jess, you look like every other basic white girl out there with your hat on. I know. I'm only wearing this because I have a massive bloody pimple in the middle of my forehead and I needed something to cover it. So like fully cover it. Like I couldn't have hair be like slipping out having you guys see it because it's just ratchet. So that's why I'm wearing this hat. But you know what? I do feel a little bad. Today I'm going to be filming a story time video and I was not actually going to even film a video about this because I didn't think it was really that interesting, but I was vlogging the other day, just like a follow me around vlog, and I was actually telling you guys about all of these things that happened to me on my recent trip away to Melbourne, and I was like, you know what, I actually want to do a full-on video dedicated to the shit that I got up to, because there were just some times that like why I do half the things that I bloody do. It's ridiculous. If you guys follow me on Snapchat and Instagram, you would know that I recently went away to Melbourne like a couple weeks ago when I'm filming this video, and I went away just for like a trip on my own. I kind of was like on this road of self-discovery, and I was like, I really want to go on a trip somewhere on my own because I've never done that before, and I'd also never been on a plane before. I know, where have I been, bitch? And I hadn't been to Melbourne since I was like 15 or 16, so I was like, I'm gonna go to Melbs. So off I go. I'm not going to obviously talk about my whole entire trip. I thought that I would just kind of let you guys know the important things that happened in this video. But the first thing that happened to me that was like, what is my life? As I said, this was the first time that I had ever caught a plane, and I had family drop me off to the airport that I was flying out to Melbourne for. So I kind of knew what to do, how to like check in and everything because they were there and my flight was delayed. Thank you, Jetstar. Fuck you, cunt. Got on my plane and I went off. I basically got to Melbourne and I went to the airport there, and I had never been, as I said, to Melbourne airport. I'd never been to an airport to catch a plane before today. So I got there and I was getting a transfer from like with a bus to the hotel that I was staying at in Melbourne CBD. That was kind of like part of the package deal that I had booked with. So I got to the airport and I had this little like invoice thing, and they said that I had to call the bus company to let them know when I was at the airport so that they could tell me where they were, and then I could get picked up and taken to my hotel. Seems easy enough, doesn't it? Fucking wrong. I got to the airport, had absolutely no damn idea what I was doing or where I was anyway. I didn't even know what terminals were, like God only knows where I was, but basically I was in Terminal 4, just letting you guys know, domestic arrivals. Here I am, Queen is here. So I go into the airport, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go walk over. It was super busy because it was like 1 or something in the afternoon. And I was like, I'm just gonna go sit over at on this chair and I'm gonna call the bus company. So I call them up, I'm like, hey, bus company, I'm here. Whereabouts are you? And they were like, oh, we're in the blue lane of the airport. You just need to cross over 2 lanes and then you'll see the bus lanes. And I'm like, oh, they have mistaken me for someone who is intelligent. What does that mean? I did not know anything that they were saying. I had absolutely no idea because it was so busy. And they were also had a very strong foreign accent. I was like, I don't know what is happening right now. I kept walking around and I kept asking people at the airport where I was meant to go. But instead of saying I need to know where the bus lanes are, for some reason or other, I was saying I need to know where the charter is. I don't even know what a charter is. What is a charter? So everyone was sort of like, oh, I don't really know like where that would be. And I'm like, this is your job. But deep down, like, what the fuck is a charter? I kept walking and I was like, they were calling me, this bus company, and they were like, hey, like we're here, we're gonna have to leave in like 10 minutes if you sort of don't hurry up. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, like I am, you know, a little late. I really am a bit lost. I don't know where I am. They were like, it's at the blue lane. I'm like, blue lane, bitch, where you couldn't tell me if I was in the purple lane right now. I don't know where I am. I'm surprised if I even know what damn airport I'm in at the moment. They're like, yeah, we're at the blue lane. We're going to leave in 10 minutes. I'm like, oh, that's fine. Like, I'll be there. But secretly, I knew I wasn't going to be there. Like, I was fucked, really, I really was. So anyways, I keep walking and walking, and I was like up these escalators and whatever, and I finally found this other terminal. And as I said, I don't even really 100% know what terminals were. So I was like, oh, maybe I should go in here. Maybe this is the way out. Because I'd asked somebody and they had told me to like go up the escalator, take a right or something like that, so I took a left. Walking along and I see all of these men in suits, like they looked legit. I was like, this is not like where I came in, like this is not fucking Kansas anymore. I'm like, maybe this is like where I meant to go, like I don't know. So I walked up and I said to this other lady, talking about the damn charters again, and she's like, oh, maybe you just need to like go in here. I'm like, okay. So I walked through with my bags and they're checking people, like people's bags and whatever. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I do not need my bags to be checked again. Like I'm already here, like I'm not going anywhere else. But me being the dumb bitch that I am, I walked straight through that check-in and I put my stuff there. He checked my suitcases, he checked my bags and whatever. And then I go up to this like old guy and he's like in a full-on suit. Like they looked like the friggin' mafia. He's like going over me with that thing, like looking in my bags and whatever. And he's like, so where are you off to today? I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here already. And he's like, oh, like what country are you flying out to? I was like, I'm not. I'm here. Bitch is here. I'm already in Melbourne. Like, I'm not going anywhere. He's like, this is international customs. Literally, I was like, Jesus, where are you right now? Like, where are you? Are you having dinner? Because I need help. I was so embarrassed. He's like, well, I'm going to have to just search through your bags because you're already here. But then, you know, you need to go out this way in order to get, because I was still saying charters. I think I need to go to the bus lanes. He's like, oh, the bus lanes, they're out here, like whatever, follow you out this way. So I was so embarrassed. I had to do the walk of shame and go all the way back around again. All the other like men in their suits are like, and I'm like, see you later, like that was my father. I finally find my way out of the airport and I'm like, okay, there's buses here. So I call up the bus company again and I'm like, hey, is there going to be another bus coming because I've missed my first one? They're like, yeah, in about 10 or 15 minutes. So I finally found where the bus lanes were, and the bus company that I was catching, they didn't even have like a full logo on their van when they showed up. It was just like a silver van, and then the guy had like the tiniest like writing of the company on his jumper. I'm like, thank God I'm not blind, because this would have been a whole nother thing. But that was the first like really embarrassing, awkward thing that happened to me when I went there. Now we're moving on to a couple days later. So this embarrassing thing happened to me on my very like last day there. I was only there from Tuesday and then I flew home on Friday. So this happened to me on Thursday. So I was walking around and I was like in the CBD and I really wanted to go to Sephora because I had absolutely no idea that Melbourne had a Sephora, but I just looked it up on my phone. I'm like, oh my God, they have a Sephora. I need to go. I've never been to Sephora before. Bitch, of course, didn't buy anything, but just being in there was enough for me. I found out the address and I was basically walking like everywhere whilst I was there because it was just easy. I was right in the CBD. So anyway, I am walking along and I'm trying to like follow my Google Maps, which, does anyone else have trouble following their Google Maps? Because bitch, where? I have absolutely no idea how to read that. Like, I think it worked for me once. I'm trying to find this shopping center that Sephora is in, and I'm at this point, I'm like, you know what? This is so ridiculous. And I wanted to go to the Queen Victoria markets, which they closed at 2. So I was like, I want to go there first and then I'll go to Sephora later, but there is no way I'm trying to walk to find the Queen Victoria markets because I am lost right now. I don't know where I am. So I decided that I would catch an Uber. Now, I had never caught an Uber before. Uber is not really a thing where I live. I decided when I went to Melbourne that I wanted to catch an Uber to certain places just because I knew it was a little cheaper than a taxi, I presumed. I got on the app and I ordered an Uber, and then about like 5 or so minutes later, the Uber guy calls me and he's like, hey, I'm here, I'm waiting for you. And I'm like, oh, right, like, what car are you in, even though it tells you on the app? And he was like, I'm in a Honda something. Now, let me just tell you, if you said to me, oh, your car, which is a something model, bitch, I wouldn't even fucking know what that meant. I am so terrible when it comes to knowing what cars look like. Like, I don't know what any car looks like. You know what I mean? You say a model, I couldn't even think of it in my mind. He was like, I'm in, you know, a Honda. I think it was a Civic or something. I'm like, is that a 4-door? So there were so many cars and so many taxis, and I think that he was parked because the streets were so long. I think he was parked maybe like around the corner or something, but I had no idea. And it got so embarrassing to the point where she just cancelled the ride because I was like, I have no idea where I'm bloody going. I decided to catch a taxi and I got in like because I never catch taxis like around here. So I got in like the first taxi. And they were like, oh, sorry, we can't actually like get out. You're gonna have to go to the next taxi. So I went to the next taxi. And then they were like, you're gonna have to go to the front of the taxi line because we can't get out. We're all like squished. I'm like, you're right, that's right. He just said that behind me and I didn't listen. So I finally got to the shopping mall with Sephora in it, and I didn't know what level Sephora was on. So I'm just like walking along the mall, and then I come to this guy. He's standing at the front of a skincare store, and I didn't pay any attention to him because I was just trying to find Sephora, you know how it is. So I'm walking along and he's like, hey, do you want a sample of some hand cream? I'm like, oh yeah, thanks, I took it. And then he's like, come in here. I will give you like a little facial on your hand. I want to show you some products. I'm like, you know what, like I don't need to be anywhere right now, so I'm just gonna go. Every single person working in the store was actually a male in like a high-end skincare store. He sits me down, and this guy's name was Jordan, and he was French. This is like the first time I've ever mentioned a guy's name because I just know he's not gonna be watching this. And he had like a ponytail, like short, like longer hair, but it was tied up in like a man bun actually. And he had like a dress shirt on and everything like that, and like dress pants. He looked really, really good, and he was French, and he had a very strong French accent, but he could speak English. And he sat me down and he starts like doing this whole flirty thing, like, what's your name, how old are you, where are you from, and all this sort of stuff. And I'm just kind of sitting there like, I know what you're gonna do, like you're gonna try and sell me some shit, but you know, you can go ahead because you're cute. So he's sitting there putting like this peel on my hand and whatever, and he keeps like looking up at me really awkwardly and kind of like giving me this like weird like smile and all this sort of stuff. I'm just like, if only you were really serious about me and not just trying to get my cash money for your peel, I would be into this. And then he's like to me, oh, you know, like, do you like these products and whatever? And just kept asking me about like my life as well. I was like, oh, they look really expensive, don't they? He's like, would that like maybe turn you off buying them? And I'm like, yeah, well, you know, taxi fares around here quite expensive. Like I was just trying to make a joke. I don't think he found that funny. The moral of the story was that he kept kind of like, you know, holding my hand for like long periods of time. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't mad, but then he puts like this moisturizer on me and stuff like that. And then he starts like noticing, because I did not have acrylics at this time, which I had thought the entire time I was there that I need to go get my nails done for a situation like this, but I didn't realize it was going to happen. So I had the shortest, stubbiest nails, and he's like, oh, you bite your nails. And I didn't want to say yes because that's so embarrassing. I didn't want him to think that I was like disgusting. So I'm like, oh no, like I just usually get acrylics, and so my nails are really weak and they've like broken off and whatever. He's like, oh, that's okay. And like, I bite my nails too. Like, don't be embarrassed. I'm like, so anyways, he starts filing my nail, like, and looking up at me as he's filing it. And then he's like, now look at the difference between like the right nail and this nail. Look how much shinier it is. And I'm like, oh, it actually is a lot shinier. He's like, now for the next 3 weeks, which this is going to last 3 weeks, you're going to think of me every time you look at your nail. I'm like, hashtag relationship goals. So he goes like and walks over to the reception. He's like, come over here. He's like, which product do you like the most out of this peel or this moisturizer? I'm like, oh, I quite liked the peel. It was quite nice. He's like, well, because you love this peel and I love you. And I'm like, stop it, you're too much. He's like, I can give you this for $99. Originally it was like $180, but he's like, I can give it to you for $99. And I of course was not going to spend $99 on a fucking peel. Like, are we serious? So I'm like, oh, you know, like I'm just going to go away and think about it. I might, you know, come back and get it. Like I'm just going to see and whatever. So he's like, okay, I'll give you my business card. So he gets his business card, he writes his name, which was Jordan, and then he writes his phone number, and he's like, you can call me anytime. I'm like, that is a very dangerous thing of you to say, because I will. So that was kind of like a failed relationship, but that was the best 5-minute relationship of my life. The last funny thing that happened to me, which was the night before I went home, was another Uber thing. So I was going to catch an Uber from my hotel room to go and meet my friend who lived like 20 minutes out of Melbourne, Brittany Rosette. If you guys don't know her channel, I'll link it down below. I went and had dinner with her. She was so lovely, and it was so like cool to meet another YouTuber. Like that was the first other YouTuber I'd met in real life. Anyway, yeah, I was gonna go have dinner with her, and I was like, I'm gonna catch an Uber. It's just easier than a taxi. They can pick me up right outside the hotel. I don't have to look for a taxi. So I ordered an Uber. The guy's photo came up, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy looks like Hitler. Like, I'm so nervous. I was so nervous about catching one, and I still probably would be nervous to catch an Uber just because I'm like, oh my god, like what happens if something happens? But anyways, I'm like, I'm just going to catch one. I'm going to be brave. So I saw that he looked like Hitler, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so scared. So I cancelled him. And I'm like, I'm just gonna catch a taxi. So I went to order a taxi, but they took so long, so I cancelled that. I was like, I have to catch an Uber or else I'm gonna be really late. Like I was already like half an hour later than what I said I was gonna be. So I ordered another Uber. I'm like, I'm just gonna have to catch one. But because I am wise, I was like, you know what, like I had heard so many of Tana Mojo's crazy Uber stories that I'm like, I am not going to be defeated. I am going to sit there and make sure that if anyone tries anything on me, you best believe I am going to cut you. I took the corkscrew out of the minibar, which had a little knife attached to it, and I opened up the knife and I put it in my bag. I just wanted to make sure that if any Uber tried anything on me, I'm gonna slam you. So that's basically what I did. Luckily for me, the Ubers were very nice. Anyways, that is basically it for the funny stories of my Melbourne trip. I hope you guys enjoyed this. You know, like there always has to be something, isn't there? It can't ever just be a smooth sail, but otherwise I wouldn't have a story time to share with you guys, so I'm glad those things happened. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and do not forget to subscribe and follow me on my social medias, and I will talk to you guys very soon in my next video. Bye. That was a really fucked up ending. Bye. See you later. I don't know how to end it.